around mental health and also just help men and all of us understand the importance of taking care of your holistic health, mind, body, spirit, soul, all of it. So I'm going to give you a second to go get your people, get them lined up. If you need to post the link somewhere, share the link, do that now. And you know what to do: like, comment, subscribe, and of course, share. So let me tell you a little bit about my guest. My guest tonight is Martinez Sellers. He is an MFT, and he is also the co-founder and CEO of, let's see if I can get this right, Marcel Consulting and MHS. And I'm guessing that stands for Mental Health Services, but I'm going to let him tell you that. He has quite an extensive resume and bio, as he has been doing great work, including ministry and therapy, and just creating an organization that serves those in need, starting from domestic violence, parenting, anger management services, therapy services, child welfare consulting, accreditation consulting, and foster family agency work for unaccompanied children. This is all that goes on at Marcel Consulting and MHS. Mr. Sellers is dedicated to decreasing the negative stigma about mental health services in the communities of colors. His first step toward awareness and education has been through his own Mental Health Matters with Marty Facebook live show that began in May of 2016. The platform for Mental Health Matters with Marty is that no one should suffer in silence in the shadow of shame, but rather everyone must speak up, speak out, and live. No, I think that's probably and live. Mr. Sellers took this platform into the year 2020 through the launch of Mental Health Matters with Marty podcast, currently available on Apple, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and other streaming platforms. Mr. Sellers will also have his first book published and ready for release in the fall of 2020, titled Stop the Stinking Thinking. So that's already out there. So he'll tell us where we can get that tonight. So the above may illustrate Mr. Sellers' professional and educational accomplishments and passions. However, his greatest joy is being the proud father to his three amazing children, Raven, Christian, and Tony. So without another word from me, let's bring to Boss Talk Live, Martinez Sellers, better known as Marty.
Hello there.
Hey, Marty, how are you?
Listen, thank you so much for inviting me on this Boss Talk Live. I know that's right. I love it. I love it. Listen, you're
Thank
looking
you.
fabulous after coming from Miami. I'm jealous.
Well, we got that sun. We soaked that up. And
Yes,
you know how when you have the melanin, the sun finds you and
yes,
loves up on you. So
yes.
you tan pretty quickly out there. You know
I
that's right.
love it.
Yes. So Marty,
Yes,
I remember when we met. Now,
yes,
I don't remember the year, but I remember the circumstance.
right.
It was a training,
Uh-huh. Was it
right?
Pasadena?
Ooh, was it Pasadena? I
It
was thinking it
might
was
have been
closer.
out.
I thought it was closer to you.
It might have been.
Maybe so. But we just started talking
Yes.
and
And
we
the
haven't
rest is
stopped.
history.
Yes, right. We haven't stopped. I love it. So when we met, I think I was already an intern, and I think you were a
Mhm.
trainee at the time. So
I
you were a
was
little bit
fairly
behind
new
me in the
in
journey.
just starting it. Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And we just chatted throughout the whole training and connected and kept in touch, and
Yes.
we have done some things.
Yes. Look, both of our lives have changed
Yes,
drastically. And I remember just having both of us having these ideas of what we wanted to do and how we wanted to really change what mental health services look for people like us. And that it
absolutely.
wasn't, yeah, and I'm sure, us being a lot of times I actually had four of us. I thought my class, my cohort was very unique, that there were four of us, African Americans, who were in that cohort, which was
Right.
really, really great.
Yeah. Let
Normally
me
that's and then we're anomalies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, in mine, there were, let me think. Mm, I think there were three of us.
Wow.
There were three. Yes.
Wow.
And one Latina woman too, just in terms of people of color.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And one of
Mm-hmm.
the ladies, I think that was one of the African American ladies, didn't continue with the program. Something came up for her, but she is doing amazing things in the field
Yes.
just the same.
Wow. Yes.
Yes.
So
So now,
amazing.
what it just hit me. You went to Phoenix, right?
Yes, Phoenix.
That's what it was. It was a
Yes.
training at Phoenix. So it was at the campus out there.
Yes.
I
Yes.
remember
It was
now.
one of these
That's right.
campuses. I can
Yeah,
remember it was at the Pasadena one or the Costa Mesa at the time because I went to the one in Ontario.
that's the one it was. I came out there. I
Okay.
remember. Yeah.
Yes.
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 I remember that.
Ironically, my office is right down the street. I can literally look at them and see. That's how crazy it is. Because I'm
Oh
right on
my
Boise as
goodness.
well.
Wow. That's awesome. Now, are you in your office right now?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that your amazing view back there?
Yes, ma'am.
I love it. What floor are you on?
Seventh floor. So I get
Oh,
to
I'm on
overlook the.
six.
Okay. Come
Look
on
at
and
us.
move up like the Jeffersons.
Come on now. To the east side.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. To a deluxe apartment in the sky.
No, the deluxe office.
Office. That's a deluxe office in the
That's
sky.
right.
Yes.
That's right. So tell me a little bit about your it's an agency that you're running right now,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
do tell. Tell me about
Well,
it.
awesome. We dream big, and I'm blessed to run and be CEO of Marcel Consulting and Mental Health Services, and we kind of are a wonderful. Even though I'm a MFT, marriage and family therapist, we do a lot with the social work side of the house as
Ah,
well. So we kind of have this, which is quite wonderful. I love because we kind of have this wonderful merger and blending because so much of what we do as
love it.
therapists and social workers, they cross in so many areas, and so we do have a foster family agency, our social services side of the house, and we've been blessed to have a contract that works with a lot of the unaccompanied minors that come across the border, and it's
Mm,
absolutely amazing. I
wow.
could only go down there one or two times because I want to take all those kids, Sean. I want to take them all home with me.
I
Um,
know.
yeah, yeah,
I
and
know.
to hear those stories.
Mm,
We a lot of times we see them at the border and we see how they treat them, but to hear the stories of what those children, I can barely walk from here to Ontario Mills or to the airport that's behind me, and I can't imagine foot or a hitchhiker or something from Guatemala, El Salvador to
mm,
get across the border and they make it to our doors in Riverside, California. And I'm
that's insane.
fascinated by those stories of a 16-year-old who bravely brings not only herself, but her other two and three siblings that are younger than her across. I,
That
I'm
is
a mess. I do the Oprah ugly cry.
okay. But Marty, imagine being, I mean, you can imagine, but it warms my heart to
Yeah.
know that someone like you, with the
Mm.
kind of heart that would make you do the ugly cry, is
Oh,
actually out there in those trenches doing that work. I
yeah.
remember us talking about wanting to be in the trenches, wanting to really
Yes.
make a
Yeah.
difference. And so I am
Exactly.
so happy that you are the perfect person to be right in that space.
Well, I appreciate, and that's the heart of my business partner. That's where she comes out of. And then I was so excited when I walked in one day, LaShawn, Sean, and then I saw these kids from Haiti. I was like, hey, come on,
Okay.
listen.
Yes. Right. And look, they didn't get them to send them back
Right,
like they
right.
did them.
That
They
was
tried to do that.
it really brought my heart joy because yes,
Mm,
I love our brown sisters and brothers and the children that come across. But when I start seeing the Haitian, but then what was great too when I saw Afro Latinos and Afro
Yes.
Latinas coming across, and I'm seeing these little brown, black little children speaking Spanish. I'm like,
Yes.
oh, hola, hola, ¿cómo
Yes.
estás? ¿Cómo te llamas?
Exactly. Now, Marty, do you speak Spanish?
I do not.
Okay.
With my first name being Martinez, I just tell myself I'm Dominican 3 times removed, and I did, but that's not the truth. But
Somebody just got creative,
they
right?
got real creative. They
I
got
love it.
real creative.
I love
But
it.
that's one side of the house, and then our other side are therapy services and parenting services. We have a contract we deal with Riverside County, so that's when the other portion of the services come in. We do a lot of work with the court system of Riverside County and
Mhm.
those children that are going to be removed from the homes due to domestic violence, anger management, and some of those other
Yes.
tragedies that those children. And so we're fighting very hard to help keep those children in the homes
Mm,
as well. So our work, although is very therapeutic, is still very community and social service driven.
I
And
love
I
it.
would not change it for the world.
That is so brilliant. I'm so proud of you and so happy for you. And I'm happy for the people in the community that you are there, and
Mhm.
your team
Mhm.
to really make a difference and really help people like that.
I have to give it out to the team because they're the ones who make us as executives look great. I have my own cash that clients that I see, and I can't deal with those other ones because I get too drawn in, and I'm just trying
Yeah.
to. Yeah, there's too many emotional ties, and coming from a domestic violent family and domestic violent background,
Hmm.
it's too close to a lot of
Yes.
experience, and even as a therapist I have to be careful not
Right.
to do a lot of counter transference and all of
Yes.
that, and lose my therapeutic approach because I'm pulled on the heartstrings.
Yes.
So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
100%. I mean, I know that, well, as you know, I lost my husband last
Hmm.
year into COVID. And
Right,
shortly after I started to go back to work, probably way too soon, but
right,
I did because it's what we do, right? And
right, right.
I actually got a call from a man who had lost his wife and his
Mm,
child.
mm,
And as much, I mean, just the email alone,
mm-hmm.
broke my heart. And
Yeah.
had to, for a moment, I was like, of course I can help you. And then I thought, oh, wait a minute.
Hmm.
You learned about something called countertransference, sister. And that
Yes.
is way too close to home. And so
Yes.
I referred him out,
Yeah. Yeah.
definitely. So let's talk about that. Like with, when we're thinking about, being in this profession, the helping profession,
Mm-hmm.
how we have to take care of our own hearts and our own mind, body,
Yes.
spirit in
Yes.
this.
Yes.
So, countertransference, for those of you who don't know, is when something in the room hits you in a way that you are no longer therapeutic or the
Right.
therapist. You have been drawn in, and now
Yes.
you're connecting it to your own life.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had that. I've definitely had that,
Oh yeah.
even since with now just loss period
Yes.
is a sort of a trigger for that.
Yes.
But we do know how to take care of it, right? So
Mm-hmm.
when that
Mm-hmm.
happens, what are some of the things that you have learned to do?
The good thing is I'm surrounded by some amazing therapists and that are here in the office, and I immediately talk to them to make sure that I have not lost my therapeutic edge.
Right.
I have not gone personal and thrown professional out the window.
Yes, yes,
Yes, and
absolutely.
share with them in confidence. I don't have to share with them because I want to still keep the clients private and to protect their
Right.
privacy. But say this is the circumstance, and this is what I was feeling, and this
Mhm.
is what I said. Could I have done anything differently? And really lean on them to guide me. And when it gets too
Yes.
personal, even on one occasion, I asked, "Hey, can you sit in with me?"
Ah, that's
Just
right.
to yeah to make sure I'm not getting off track and
Mhm.
making sure my perspective, because again we're getting too close, and I shared with the client what I was doing and why I was doing it. And the good thing is the rapport had already been built.
Yes,
And I was
that's a
honest with them, say, I'm struggling.
hmm
I'm struggling in this situation because of this. And
right.
I'm not perfect. Because I'm your therapist does not mean I don't have
Exactly.
to, we're not perfect. We make mistakes.
Exactly.
And when we get too close, I'm like, I'm getting too close to this. And so I just need to make sure I'm not doing you a disservice.
That part.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And so it went right. Oh, then I start when I get too close to my. I got about. I have my therapist on speed now. I need
Thank
an
you.
appointment. I need an appointment. Don't I
Hello.
got? I
Hello.
can call you. Go.
Hello. Yes. Look, mine is in the building. Okay.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
That's actually how I knew about the opening
Oh wow.
because my
Okay.
therapist is in the building. I had been coming here for 2 years.
Wow.
And she said before a friend had said they had an office down the road a bit, and I told her, and she said you might want to check in here.
Mm,
And I came here, and on and a lot of the immediate acceptance was on her merit. You know,
wow.
so I was
That
very fortunate.
I love that because we're not in competition. And I like to
Mm-mm.
share that we are not in competition, especially with today, the way society is today and all the trauma. Sean, I don't believe we even began to see the PTSD, the post traumatic stress that's going to be a result of the pandemic. That's
Exactly.
a result of the shootings. That's a result of,
Yes.
especially in our community, we're talking about Breonna Taylor,
Mm,
George Floyd, and
abs-
all these other Trayvon Martins and all that.
yes. Start all the way back then.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
And now from Buffalo, that's happening. And even I was talking to my pastor, and I would love to get you on this panel too. I want to create um, wellness seminars and webinars for
Yes.
parents, for children, where we're helping them through this process. And what I want to do is charge churches to help pay for your expertise. We're not asking for a
Mhm.
lot, but at least pay. We'll talk about
Yeah.
compensation
Yeah.
later. But,
Absolutely.
but, but yes, because we want to help our community. We're not trying to be the pastor. We're not trying to take it, but
Right.
we want to come alongside you and
Absolutely.
support you because there's as we are mentally healthier, we become more spiritually healthier. And as we're
Absolutely.
spiritually healthier, we can become more men. And those two just work hand in hand.
Mm.
Everything in me says that, and this is just me, Marty, and there's no, that Christ was the best cognitive behavior therapist there was.
Okay. All you have to do is read the book, right?
Yes,
The book will tell
yes.
you. Absolutely.
He actually
What does it
started
say?
it.
Be still.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
And know that that's just being. Boom.
yes,
Right there.
yes,
Take captive every thought.
yes.
Come on. Come
Yes,
on.
yes,
Come
yes,
on. Yes, absolutely.
yes,
Rejoice. I will say it again.
yes. And as a man thinketh, even in this heart. See, so is he. So we have to change. One of my favorite things is that we have to change our stinking thinking
Yes, I love that.
and stop secretly suffering in silence in the shadow of shame.
Ooh, I
Uh,
like that, Marty.
yes, because too many of us in our community are, especially men, since this is men's
Hmm
health and wellness, we secretly suffer in silence
hmm
because a lot of times we know how to quasi be a protector and
hmm
quasi be a provider, but we don't know how to love.
Ooh,
Because
Marty, talk
men,
about that. Yes.
we interpret love as providing, protecting, and you respecting me.
Yeah. Ooh, Marty, you better talk.
Right.
So, where does that come from? Tell the audience that.
Yes. I think it comes from. Well, it's interesting. I having a new adoptive daughter. Well, she's been with me since she was born. I
Oh,
have a 30, about to be a 32-year-old. She's going to kill me for sharing her age. A 24-year-old and a 6-year-old. Now, this
what?
way says I'm not supposed to have a 6-year-old.
We got distinguished Greg.
Yeah, yeah, yes, yes.
Okay, okay. Let's
Right,
keep
right.
Let's see what Miss Latasha says. Latasha Matthews says
Yes.
CBT all day.
Okay. Yes.
Absolutely.
Come
Now,
on.
Latasha is an amazing clinician out of the Georgia area.
Come on, Latasha. I'm going to be in Georgia actually sometime in August in Atlanta, doing a conference for middle school and high school boys dealing
Ooh.
with trauma and that type of thing. I'm one of the main speakers for that.
Oh, that's magnificent.
Yes.
Well, I'll connect y'all up then.
Wonderful.
Yes, yes. That's amazing. So let's go back though. Because I think that it's so rich and so important to talk
Hmm.
about the why
Yes.
behind the fact that, you know, women are what how does that what's that book? Men are from Venus, Mars. What is that thing?
Yeah.
Women are from Venus, men
Men
are
are
from
from
Mars.
Mars and women are from
Yes,
Venus.
yes. And see, that's why there's so many issues when we think about relationships.
Yes.
People want to change the natural flow that
Yes.
people are born with rather
Yes.
than understand it, come alongside it, and help it to shift.
Yes.
So do talk more about that, Marty.
Sean, I believe it comes here from how we rear boys and girls. We
Mm,
rear them differently from the time they
yes.
are born,
Yes.
which is so amazing. Um, um, with boys, a lot of times, and then when they get, especially when they start getting into the the young years, early elementary, late
Mhm.
elementary, we tell them to man up.
Yes,
Tell
Lord.
them, don't be a punk. So now we're starting this toxic black masculinity that
Mm,
planting seeds in them at an early age. Young boys don't
yes.
cry. Now you done broke your arm and you're telling them, don't cry.
Exactly. Right. Now, if
What?
your grown behind had broke your arm, I bet you would cry, right?
Right.
I mean, come on.
I remember when I ruptured my Achilles at 33. I went down and I'm like, I was fighting them. The tears were coming down because I was in pain.
I know that's right. And that's the worst thing, that Achilles.
Woo!
Ooh,
Woo! Yes,
yes.
yes, I would cry.
Gigi said she would cry. Latasha
Right.
said something. Oh, Latasha would love to meet you. So,
Would
like
love
I
to,
said,
darling.
I would
Yes,
definitely connect y'all.
yes.
Yeah,
And
Gigi, I would cry too, girl.
right. And so from that point, we tell you to suck it up, to man up. You're 6. You don't know nothing about being a man. You need to be a boy, a
Yes,
young boy.
yes,
Then we throw these out. Don't be a punk.
there,
Only sissies cry. So
there.
now we're like, ooh, ooh. And so that now that we teach them to bottle it in.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we see that, well, and I made this interesting observation too. Boys, we do a lot of sounds. You give them a truck,
That's good, Mark.
we do. So
Yes.
so that translates over. They're doing a lot of grunting, but not saying anything. So you
Mm.
have to be the like, almost like the Holy Ghost interpreter of moanings and groanings.
You are killing me right now. And you know what? I never thought about that because, you know, a lot of times women, come on, y'all, women in relationships will be like, he don't talk.
Right,
And
right.
oh my gosh, we're not
Well,
giving
you
them
haven't
permission.
because we've been told not to talk.
Mm,
So
mm.
isn't it amazing that men can show all kind of affection. I'm gonna use that word on purpose. But when it's wrapped in sports,
Mm-hmm.
in
Okay,
competition,
there.
we are allowed to be emotional, and black men know more than just being anger and
Oh,
sports
yeah.
excitement. Because as we know, anger is a secondary emotion,
Yes, absolutely.
especially with men.
It's
Wh-
behind
wh-
hurt.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes,
There
it
you
is.
go.
Yes, it
And
is.
so, women, what I would encourage you when you see your man or your spouse or your fathers, uncles, brothers, sons angry, ask the question, what's bothering you?
Mm, that's
How
rich.
Yes. And we can't be judgmental like, what's wrong with you? No, we know there's something
Yes,
wrong, but you say,
exactly.
what's bothering you or even what's hurting you. That
Yes.
that's a and then we have to watch our tones.
Ooh, that part. That
Hmm.
part. Gigi said, I raised a young man and I'm familiar with the car noises, crashing, and invisible football game.
Yes, yes, yes. Listen, Miss Gigi, that's the truth. Now, my
Yes.
6 year old, I put her in the tub a couple weeks ago, and I promise you, I thought in that bathroom there were 10 other little girls in there with her. She had conversations. She's disciplined them. She's told them to listen to her. She did had, her
I
best
love
friends. And I'm like, I came in there like, who are you talking to?
it.
All my friends.
That was me. That was me all day. My mother
Yes.
said from the very beginning, they thought, this baby came out talking. And
Right.
so, and I was raised an only child. And so I
Oh, oh wow.
literally I talked to my dolls. I would have them sitting up in
Yes.
the chairs, teaching them
Yes.
school, do it, disciplining. I was just like, what's her name? Is that Tony?
Tony.
That I was
Tony.
just like Miss Tony.
Yeah. So now look at that as we're cultivating her. And I'm even like when she gets upset or something, I'm saying, sweetheart, use your words because I know you have lots of them. So
Yeah.
I'm encouraging girls to use their words, but I'm telling the boy to shut up.
Oops. Look at that. Look at that.
So
And maybe that's where that whole women are so loquacious.
yes,
We've been given permission from the
we've
very
been given
beginning to talk.
permission.
Absolutely.
But who has given the young man permission to even feel or
Mm,
express it? So now we're adults, and you're like, he doesn't talk. Well, he doesn't know how to talk
exactly.
because he's never been given permission to talk
Right. Look
or
at
to
that.
speak,
And
except
then
when
go ahead.
he's angry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And even in that, you're told he's taught how to be a provider, but not to even boast about that.
Right. Look at that. Look at
To
that.
protect, but that's in the angry mode, but not to say anything about that either.
Mm.
So you're like, we don't communicate. Well, I'm sorry, sweetheart. Your man has not been taught how to
Ooh.
express
You better come up with
himself
that. That
because
is
he's
rich.
never had a safe environment. Because even when he broke something, himself or something else, he was not allowed to express the pain, the disappointment, or the hurt.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Would you look at this? Gigi says, "Yes, yes, I can still relate to your daughter." Absolutely.
Yes.
Latasha said this started during
Yeah.
slavery. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, girl, that's rich. Yes.
Latasha, she's right on point because if you look at some of the slave narratives with that, they were beaten and you were, how can you be beaten and told not to cry? And then
Exactly.
you had to hush them or the children. And so then it goes over to sharecrop. When things are stripped from us, lives are stripped from us, and we're
Mm,
not supposed to react.
exactly.
Our grandparents were shot in cold blood up here in Buffalo, but you're not supposed to react.
Exactly.
Our children were shot in cold blood, and they could not even identify those children's bodies.
Yes. Emmett Till.
Yeah, and Emmett, right. Oh,
Mm.
I started watching that special.
Did
I
you
had
watch
to take
it?
it in doses. When I say I cried as if I were there at that thing hurt me so bad. And I even know in the depiction of it
Yes.
was even not even near to the level of how grotesque that
Oh
was.
my goodness, absolutely not. And it was the same. I did the same thing, Marty. I
Mhm,
watched it in increments. I couldn't do it all at once. And it
mhm,
was well done. I think it was very well done.
mhm.
And I think that and it was educational too, because
Yes,
you learn some of the nuances that we didn't know about. And I
yes,
learned that those were not poetic license, which comes with
right.
writing and all the script stuff.
Mhm,
No, that was real stuff.
mhm,
You
mhm,
know? And I think when we talk about men's health, so
mhm.
you're not allowed to talk. Now we have learned, you know, later down the line with scientific studies and all of
Mhm.
this, that certain illnesses
There you
are
go.
coming from emotional stuff,
Yes,
anger,
yes,
anger, bottled up,
yeah. I,
changes
I
your body.
yes, I call it the Coca-Cola syndrome
Ooh, do tell.
because you have this, and don't judge me. Um,
What you got over there, Marty? Soda. Mm.
yes, yes. Shut up. Don't say anything. Man
Ooh,
up. Don't
ooh,
be. So what happens as it shakes,
ooh.
suppress it, doesn't mean that there's not action going on inside the body
Come on.
or
I
inside
love
the
that.
man. And the slightest crack, you
Yes.
implode first,
Yes.
killing yourself, and then you explode
Mm.
on everyone else.
Ooh, that's it.
And
Absolutely.
as a result of that, we already know, especially for Black men and men in general, 80, if we don't do something with that stress, it does something. If we don't release it somehow, it's
Mm.
going to impact us. How do we know?
Yes.
Because it is scientific research and fact that
Yes.
80% of strokes are avoidable.
Okay. That part.
80%.
And I love that Coca-Cola. By the way, I'm gonna steal that. But I love that analogy because when I think about that,
Yes,
I think about cortisol
yes,
from stress and upset
yes,
and anger. And cortisol is like those bubbles inside.
yes.
We have learned that Coca-Cola, Pepsi, all of that, you can clean a carburetor with it. Okay.
And so
So
there was killing. I love Latasha's there. Yes, uh,
what'd she say? Which one? That one?
the cancer one.
Okay, where that one
Yes,
at?
because all that the anger and stress and trauma leads to cancer, leads to back pains, leads to headaches. And like you're saying,
Yes.
we have to pay attention. Yes, etc. We have to pay attention to our bodies.
Yes.
We have to get
Yes.
those checkups. We have to get some of these other ththings, some of these emotions impact. That's right, your liver, your
Mhm.
heart, your bladder.
All of that.
And so
All of that.
and I always encourage as best I can. That's why I love private pay and cash clients or
Me
insurance.
too. Me too
Listen,
indeed.
because part of what I'm going to do, I'm going like, when's the last time you've had a been to the doctor and had a full checkup with all your blood work and all of that? Because we know
Yes.
that our health affects our mental health as well, our physical
Absolutely.
health. With
Absolutely.
I have to be sure. As much as I fought it, I have high blood pressure, and just here recently, last month, I was put on a cholesterol pill. It is genetic and hereditary for me
Yes, it is. Yes, it
as
is.
much as I fight it. So I had to accept that this is something, as much as I fight it, it's in my DNA.
Yes.
But I also, when I don't take my blood pressure pill, I have to pay attention, just like Latasha was saying, when I get the headaches or I'm
Mhm.
feeling the tension in the back of my neck, when my
Mhm.
shoulders are real tight,
That's
I
right.
use those as warning signs. Marty,
Mhm.
pay attention. I
Yeah.
can say this Lost in Space, Will Rogers warning.
Right, right. Will Robinson. Yes, yes. Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Danger, yes, yes. And the signs in my body are speaking to the dangers, so I don't
Yes.
pop. I don't bust a blood vessel. I don't have a stroke. I don't
Exactly.
have all these things. Sean, I had a guest on my show, Jeff Walker. He doesn't mind me using his name because anger is the only thing he knew and had to provide and he had a stroke and still went to work.
Oh no.
And in his mind, he's like, I have a headache. I'm gonna press through it. I'm gonna press through it. Went to
Yes.
work, didn't realize this is how Dr. Rita Walker out of amazing black female psychologist out of the University of Houston says, we are so much in trauma in our communities that we no longer realize when we're in crises.
Yes. Crisis becomes what? The norm.
Exactly.
Hmm.
It's just the stat. Are we still pressing our way? We
Yes.
still just
Yes.
holding on.
Come on.
And so thank God his boss, who was one of his mentors as a black female, said, uh-uh,
Not on my watch.
Exactly, not on my watch. And she called the ambulance. They said if he had laid down, he would have died.
Not gotten back up. My God.
And when it says, didn't you? He goes, well, I knew something was wrong, but I was just going to fight through it. Huh? That's the stinking
Yeah.
thinking that we
Yes.
as men have.
Yes.
Black men have,
That's it.
thinking that I could take some castor oil and some black seed oil and do a hot toddy. I'm gonna be all right.
I'm gonna be all
No,
right. No, not. Not. You fall right over and spill the hot toddy.
right.
Goodness gracious, Marty. Rhonda said, yes, we tend to resort to anger in order to
Yep.
protect ourselves or cover up other vulnerable feelings.
Come
Absolutely,
on,
my
come
sister.
on. That's
She's
so
out of
true.
Houston, this lady here.
Okay,
And
wonderful.
Latasha says the body speaks, we gotta listen.
That's right.
Yes,
That's so true. And
yes,
but can I say this, Sean? How many
please.
of us know how our bodies talk to us
Mm, mm,
and know how to respond appropriately?
mm.
I'm becoming and loving now doing a lot of working with black men. And it's just and so one of the first things I ask him is like, who are you? Well, I'm so I said, I got your name. I can read the intake form.
Right. Hello.
Who are you? Well, I'm a father. I get that. Again, because men define who they are based upon their outward success and profession.
Yes, by what they do.
Yes, they're
Yes.
doing, again, the provider and protector.
Mm,
I'm providing a service and I'm protecting my family. So again,
yes.
when I and you would be amazed by about the fifth time, I just keep asking, but who are you?
Mm,
I hear you. I read that too. But who are you?
yes, yes.
50% of them have shedded a tear and then immediately apologize.
Wow.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't know what came up.
For for being vulnerable.
Yes.
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 Wow, Marty, that's
That,
good.
listen, this is a safe space. I'm
Yes.
not judging you.
I am you.
Yes, that part.
That
Part.
part.
And I'll say this, I've had about two or three men that I've sobbed right here with them in brotherly safety. They're
Mhm.
like, you can't handle it? I said, no, I can handle this. But what you need now is to let you know, as black man to black man, I get it.
I get it.
Not only are you heard, I see you as well.
Yeah. Ooh, that is so important.
Yes.
Latasha says, that's good, Marty. You're hitting. Teach men how to listen to their bodies, the language of a man.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, Marty, I feel like I want to say this. I work a lot with veterans.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yes.
what's interesting is that you are giving an opening for black men and men in general, but black men
Yes.
in particular,
Yes.
to be safe, to feel safe, to
Yes.
feel not judged, to
Yes.
feel like they can, that it's not that they're being weak, to talk about
Right.
these things, to even sit down in your chair.
Right.
I get calls from men and I say, is there anything particular that you are looking for in your therapist? Can I, so I can help match you?
Mm-hmm.
And many of them say, as long as it's a female.
Mm-hmm.
And so I actually asked a gentleman,
That's good.
why is it that you wanted to speak to a female and not a male? And
Mm-hmm.
he said, because I was raised by my mother, my
Mm-hmm.
aunts, and they all were very important in my life. They
Mm-hmm.
protected me as a boy,
Yes.
and they
Yes.
have supported me as a man.
Yes.
And then he said, and I don't want to be judged by
Judge.
man. Boom, boom.
Isn't that sad that we can't even be vulnerable with
Mm,
each other as
yes,
men because we feel like we're going to be judged?
yes.
because the only thing we've taught each other as men is to judge each other on how masculine you come across.
Right. Right.
And those are the ones, those extreme alpha black men.
Yep.
You know how they are.
Yes. Yes.
They're the, and they blow over
Right over. Exactly. Exactly.
because, like the comment said, it's a mask.
Exactly.
And I'm telling you, take off the mask.
Take it off. You don't need it
You're
here.
safe here. I'm like, do I need to build? So, Sean, one of my desires and dreams that really I think is going to come to, I want to build in Los Angeles a men's wellness and wholeness clinic.
Mm. Wow. That would be so needed and so amazing.
Yes, and even have cigar and bourbon night or something.
Yes. There we go. That's it. That's it.
Speaking to
Sit,
men.
sit back and kick it night.
Yes,
You
yes,
know? Yes.
yes. The man cave.
Yes. Yes.
And that one of my dear friends and colleagues out of Bush. What's this? Purnell Bush. Purnell. Love me some. Do you know Purnell Bush out of Florida?
I
He's doing
know.
this amazing thing. I got to connect you with him with bringing what he's calling mental health certification, mental health awareness to barbers. Because now
Oh,
let's think
yes.
about it.
Oh my
Our
God.
barbers
Yes.
have been our therapists for all these years.
Yes.
If
I,
nothing else, we love, and I love movies like Coming to America, Barbershop, and all that, because
yes.
it goes back to show the importance and the value that we give to those in that field,
Right.
that we have not given enough credit and creed to, because many barbers have kept a lot of men sane.
I'm gonna tell you that, and I'm gonna tell you the same thing goes for beauticians,
Yes.
hairdressers, hair design. Because like here recently, I just got my hair braided.
Uh-huh.
Go there, and it is like a refuge. I
Yeah.
go there, I sit, just she and I. We watch reality TV. We talk about our feelings and our thoughts and what happened to the last relationship and the next like
Yeah.
all of that in no time, right in that space,
Yeah.
And I think it's interesting how that's a safe space.
It is. It's a safe space. And so my desire is to replicate that
Yeah,
in
I
a
love
men's
it.
wellness center and partner. So I'm fleshing it all out. So I'm really prayerful that by next summer this will be
Mm,
open in Gardena.
I love that.
And just having these men's night and young men's night
Hmm.
and that where it's just, so I'm looking for trying to get some physicians as well, some so that we can do, so we
Yeah.
have a safe place, because we cannot miss that prostate cancer and how it
Ooh,
runs rampant because
yes.
we don't go to the
The
doctors and all
doctors.
that. A dear friend of mine who's 45 years old told me he just got his first exam since he was 21 years old.
Oh my.
Now at 50, at almost 56, I'm running up in the doctor every look, test this blood, make
Yeah,
sure I'm healthy.
exactly.
I know my genes. There's
Right.
diabetes,
Yes.
a high blood pressure,
All of it.
cholesterol,
Mm,
bipolar. I said now,
mm.
as my grandma said, bipolar. I said, grandma,
Bipolar.
you know they bipolar.
Look, your grandmother and Medea.
Yeah, yeah. And part of that is also shaking, what I like to call shaking the family tree.
Yes, absolutely, Marty.
Yeah.
You mentioned when you talk about that blood pressure, and it kind
Mhm.
of connects here. Latasha also said, "Conditioned to keep going, we are
Yes.
still fighting through the mental enslavement."
Yes.
And not only that, but when we think about this intergenerational trauma, post-slavery
Yes.
syndrome, all of those things, we have
Talk
to
to us.
also look at the hereditary nature of the things that cause us harm and
Yes.
illness. And one
Yes.
of the things that comes to mind for me is that we talk about, the way that African Americans eat.
Mm-hmm.
Now think about why that is, that
Mm-hmm.
chitlins was on the table.
Well,
Okay, because that's the
that's
scratch.
all
That's
was
all we
left.
get. Exactly. So I have done some research and learn and understand that
Uh-huh.
it is more about the cortisol and the stressors that come from LWB, living while black, than it is about what we put on the table. And don't let nobody tell you nothing different.
Right.
Certainly, we need to watch what we eat, and we need to get back to the way mom and them ate when they got them greens out the backyard, and
Come
they
on, they
got
were fresh.
all of that going on, fresh food, but
Fresh.
not to ignore the fact that we live every day in a state of stress. You
Yes.
go to your work environment,
Mm-hmm.
and women, yes, but men especially. I
Mm.
remember my own father talking about the ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
We always talk about the glass ceiling, but I remember my father in the early 70s
Mm-hmm.
talking about why he was leaving the company that he worked for
Mm-hmm.
and going solo,
Mm-hmm.
doing business for himself, because he was always having his own business on the side,
Right.
right?
But we did because we knew we weren't
Absolutely.
going to get the same wages as our
Exactly.
counterparts.
Exactly.
Yes.
It is amazing what how it all joins together,
Mm-hmm.
because we feel safe exposing our hair and therefore feel safe to expose our feelings and not be
That's
judged. That's
good.
good. That's very good.
That is so good.
That's G right there.
Yeah.
That would be so good because it blends the typically masculine, yes, with the help they
Yes.
need. So I don't care what nobody says, because I am a therapist who loves television. Yeah, so there. Because they always say that anybody productive doesn't watch TV. That's a lie. I get more done in a day than anybody 20 years old or not. And I watch is my
Come on.
television.
Come on.
So it was Queen Sugar. Who's
Now
what? Any of y'all out there watch Queen Sugar
that
and
was a good
know?
series.
Yes, who knows the name of the lounge that Aunt
Ooh.
Vi's man, what was his name?
Uh,
Uh
uh, 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 uh.
Hollywood.
Hollywood. Yes.
Hollywood created
Hollywood.
a lounge. If you know the name of it, put it in the chat, because that sounds like something that what you're talking about doing, only with the clinical support behind
Yes.
it as well, and the health focus. And I
Yes.
really love that. And
Yes.
G says, what she say? Yes, G, I
Mhm.
forgot about that. This
Yeah.
beautiful lady right here, this one right here, G, Jazaria Hardy Santos, had
Come
a
on.
stroke. At how old were you, baby? And let me just tell you about the resilience. Let's talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
I watched this woman build herself back up. She is running marathons and such not these days. Okay.
Come on. I can barely run around the block.
Okay, me too, Marty. I'm with you on that, my brother. I just watch. Systemic food choices and access issues.
Yes, that's
Access,
so true.
absolutely.
Yes, because when you look at that's why I love. I was partnering with a friend of mine, client of mine. He was actually doing a Compton community garden.
I I remember that.
Yeah, and trying to teach us how to take, even if it's a table size something, and teaching us the value of growing our own fruits and vegetables. I remember growing up, originally from Ohio, and my grandmother, Lucille Sellers, she would get out there and plant her tomatoes,
Yes.
her greens. She liked collards and turnips. And she said they didn't taste good until they got the first frostbite on them.
Ooh, come on now. Marty, you know what? I just realized in your bio that you're from Ohio. I don't think I knew that. Or did we
Yeah.
talk? Where in Ohio?
Right, a little small town called Newark, right outside of Columbus.
Get out of here. I've seen
Yes.
work. I've passed it on my way to Ohio University in Athens.
Come on, yes.
I'm born and raised in Toledo. Did we never talk about this?
That's right. I
You remember?
forgot. Yes,
Yes.
yes. So
Yes.
you know
Okay.
how dealing with that snow and all that,
Ooh,
surviving the blizzard of
baby.
'76, and
Yes.
but
Yes.
that was something we all had, this little corner garden that we all had. My aunt had three huge apple trees.
Mm.
And so picking fruits and eating that. It was some those tomatoes right up, and we had
Oh,
those
baby.
wild berries.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Yes. G was 51 when she had her stroke.
Wow.
And you talk about coming back.
Come on and give us
Coming
encouragement for
back.
50 and above.
All right now.
Yes. Yeah,
Business.
I-
Latasha says that the grocery stores in some communities have bad produce and veggies. That's
exactly.
right.
They get the
Which is why
leftover
that's so
stuff.
important,
Yes.
what you're
And
talking
and, and yes. But how do we and that's so key too, because we know that we need as I'm getting older, I know I need to. I've cut back from a lot of some of the pork and everything. But I just love my bacon. Y'all pray my strength. Listen. I
Listen,
just cook the
listen,
bacon.
Marty. I tell people, so sometime I'll order something vegan, and people say, "Shauna Ray, are you vegan?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm the vegan that eats bacon."
Right, right, right. But my business coach, he is vegan, and there's times in my life, I'll do a cleansing and just do a bunch of
Yes.
vegan, and I must admit, I am lighter. I feel healthier.
It's
But every now
true.
and then I just eat, or I can go do chicken and fish for about a month
Yeah.
or two, and really do heavy on the greens and the fresh fruits and vegetables, and not so
Hmm.
much processed, and eliminate the
Yeah.
sodas. And we're on a water challenge here at the office too. So
Oh,
oh gee, but some of them
well,
run the water overboard. But yes, okay, right.
that's my cute little water bottle.
Mhm.
Infused with rosemary and berries.
Ooh, I have to try the rosemary in there.
The rosemary in there is amazing. My nutrition coach taught me that.
Okay.
Rosemary. Shout out to Chef Nico, wherever you are.
Well, come on, nutrition coach. I
You
know we
know,
all need one of them.
oh my gosh, Marty, if it were left up to Sean LeRae Brinkley, I would need none but sugar.
I understand.
That's it. And it's so interesting that, you know, when I I was going to Miami. I was preparing. I knew about Miami for 2 years, right? We had
Right.
talked about this. We planned this trip. Me and my sorors. Oh, and by the way, Rhonda, if you're still on, Marty is an alpha.
No,
She's an
I'm not. I
you're
didn't pledge.
you didn't
No,
pledge.
no,
Oh
ma'am.
no, I thought you did. I thought I
Mm-mm.
put that in your bio.
No, no, I did not pledge.
Oh
Uh,
well, I'm
I
wrong.
almost did,
You
and,
almost
and
and what would you have pledged?
I was pledging alpha, and
Alpha.
and they broke my boy's leg on
Uh
that
oh,
line.
Marty, would you say, "Oh, never mind"?
I said, "Oops." I said, I'm sorry, I had to cut. I like Della Reese in Harlem Nights. Now I got to cut you.
Exactly, exactly that. I ain't even playing.
Yes.
You know that pledging thing, especially in Ohio and down around those areas where ain't nobody looking.
Well, I by then I had moved to California, and I went up to I was
You
in
in
Oakland.
Berkeley.
I went to UC Berkeley.
Okay, that's right. That's
Yes,
right.
UC Berkeley. So
Love it.
during that time. So yes.
Now let me see what we got going on here.
Okay.
It says it's more about healing the inside and the outside
Yes.
of the human life.
Yes.
Absolutely, G.
Yes.
And that is so true. Look at here. I'm from Ohio. Look at
Come
this.
on. See,
Tasha,
God,
did
these
I
are
know
the
that?
people.
After all these years, did I know that? I don't think I knew that.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Great folks come out of Ohio.
Absolutely. Look, half of California came out of Ohio. Really?
Right, right. I'm like, why y'all still there? It's too cold. But
Yes.
Columbus is coming up.
Yes, it is. Yes, it
It's
is.
coming up.
My cousin still lives in He lives in Columbus because we lived in Ohio, in
Yeah,
Toledo.
I
But
have one, two, three siblings that still live in Columbus.
okay, okay. And
Yeah.
Sarah says it's hard, but I have been chosen to show we can overcome in this area. That's right.
Amen. That's
That
beautiful.
is so right.
Beautiful.
Absolutely, because everything is not for nothing. We also need to have, let's see, we also need to have to add so much to our food to learn to like the taste of the food.
Yes.
You're an 80-20 vegetarian, and 20% of the time eat what you want, but not as much as you want. 80% eat what feeds your body and soul.
That's
You
good.
better teach, G. I
That
see a future for you, girl.
and that ratio I can handle.
Exactly. It's so true. Now,
Yeah.
I don't eat red meat except
Okay.
pork, bacon, but I eat chicken and fish, and I always get a little picky about my chicken because,
Yeah.
Marty, I'm not a big cook, but in the times that I've cooked and handling the chicken is yucky to me. I don't
Uh-huh.
like that. I don't like that slime and all that. So
Right.
I'm a salmon girl, and
Love it.
my nutrition coach has said eat white fish. So I bought some white fish, and I am going to cook it tomorrow because I forgot to take it out of the freezer. But
Okay.
but and I'm spoiled because my cousin lives with me, and she's an amazing
Okay.
cook. And
Let-
so she experiments with different things. But it's funny because what you're saying about the taste, a lot of men are conditioned, from grandma and mama
Mhm.
and all that flavorful thing. And so it takes a lot to learn how to cook in
Mhm.
such a way that you get the flavor that delights your tongue but
Mhm.
keeps you healthy.
Yes, yes, and that's a process too. I love to definitely cook, and here I go to a steakhouse and I get that Chilean sea bass. It is
Mm,
so
yes,
it almost melts in your mouth. Like
yes. Can you
you go
cook
to
that?
a steakhouse to get. I can't cook. I can do some salmon.
Okay, okay. Well, I'll
Yeah,
go for dinner then.
definitely. But
Yes,
you're right. But as and I'm learning because I can't just tell people that and not practice it myself. And
and
so
that's
with
it.
that, yeah, and trying to eat healthier and how that affects our moods. And I can tell when I'm in one, and drinking a lot more water, I'm thinking more clearly. Listen, I'm getting rest. I told said, listen, I'm 55. I got to get water and sleep. Uh,
Exactly.
Plenty of
Exactly.
it.
And that sleep thing is something that I have to work hard on because Marty, I got the ADHD. So,
But even with that, learning to a routine that's going to help.
yes,
I'm
yes.
so much into aromatherapy and
I love
the
that. Yes,
lavenders and the
yes.
vanillas, and men are more prone to vanillas and all that.
Oh, is
To
that
kind
right?
that's what some of the studies I've read. Yeah, so to kind of calm me down. I've been doing a lot more oils as well.
Love it. Love it.
Yes. And then making sure my routine at night now, um, playing a little jazz and having a little glass
Yes,
of red wine as I'm settling down. So I'm
yes,
now creating this space to relax and get good rest.
yes. Well, Marty, we were talking about, like, when you were able to cry with your client and that sort of thing. And I think that it has there's a huge difference in the Black community in that need and that connection that
Yes,
we make with our clients as opposed to what we learned in the books in school.
yes, yes,
So I have a new understanding of what anxiety looks like
yes. That's
since I
good.
lost my husband.
Yes.
And I have full transparency. I have had panic attacks, and I
Mhm.
recently had one on the airplane coming home from
Mm.
Miami, where I had such an amazing time.
Mhm.
And on the plane, I woke up and my arms were tingling up, and there were these
Mm.
two fingers here and all
Yeah.
the side. And I thought I was shaking. I was trying to get it, let it loose, and it wouldn't go loose. And so I had, of course, I already made friends with the lady next to me. So I asked her to get the flight attendant. She got the flight attendant, and the flight attendant came. She says, "What's going on?" And I said, "I'm not sure. I just feel funny." And I felt this whoosh come over my body. And she's like, "Oh my gosh." She goes, "Well, let me." She gets on the loudspeaker, and any medical professionals. I felt like it was a movie, Marty. And
Right, right.
they come, and the people say, it was a nurse and an EMT, and they were like, "Oh, well, squeeze my fingers and hold your hands out and smile and all this and that." They're ruling out stroke, of course.
Trope, yes, of
And
course.
they were like, "Well, your blood pressure is perfect, but we want you to see somebody when you get off the plane
Yeah.
before you go on to Los Angeles." So here we go, the EMT, and they're always good looking, so that was all right. So the 57 got me, and then,
Keep
you
it
know,
real.
I took a picture with him on the elevator. So we go, we go, we go into their little EMT room or whatever, and they do my blood pressure. I have AFib. So they're like, "Okay,
Okay.
well, let's check that out." And they see some T waves, they said. Nothing really too alarming, but they said, maybe we should take you to the hospital
Right.
before you get on this flight. So, okay, did it again and got on the elevator to the hospital, and they do blood work and urine and a CAT scan on my brain and
Right.
excuse me, a chest x-ray. And the doctor comes back and says, I have good and bad news. He said, the bad news is I don't see anything wrong with you. He said, the good news is you get to get out of here and go home.
Mm-hmm.
Out of there I go. I come home, excuse me,
Mm-hmm.
and friends and family are like, you better stay still, rest. 2 whole days I stayed home, did nothing. Went out on Saturday to see my sister get honored at the Lady Light Foundation. Shout out to
Mm-hmm.
Leah Pump. That's a beautiful program. And after that, I came home. Sunday, I had watched Latasha speak to our therapy organization. Shout
Mm-hmm.
out to Latasha. That was awesome. And she said, you left the fine man part out. No, I said that. I said the EMTs are fine. They always are. It is without fail. I think it's a prerequisite on the application. Are you fine? Okay, so so I come to work on Monday. I'm sitting here, and all of a sudden, I feel funny. It's just like a weird sensation. I
Mm-hmm.
know my body, and something is wrong. My intern comes in. I call her, and she's like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's call the people." So we call 911. They come over here, and they do the same exact routine.
Right.
Blood pressure's fine, heart rate's fine,
Right.
all of
Yeah.
that. They asked me about, they said, when you had the tingling, it was both hands, right? I said, yeah. He goes, well, are you nervous about something or worried about something? And I said, what is it about this tingling and the worry? And because the EMTs had said it, the nurse, I asked her, I said, so all the symptoms that I have portrayed today, could that be a panic attack? She goes, absolutely. I had
Mm-hmm.
no idea, and I'm a therapist.
Mm-hmm.
But I have a whole new empathy for my clients who have panic attacks.
Yes.
I have had panic attacks only since I lost William. And I
Mm.
wake up in the mornings and he's not there, and I can't
Yeah.
I can't get it together. And so I think I was on the plane, I woke up,
Yep.
he wasn't there.
Wow.
And so
Wow.
it's a thing that I am like, wow.
Yeah.
But here's the key, know your body.
That's it.
Know your
You
body,
knew
because
your body well enough to say there's something wrong.
something is not right, and I can feel
Yes.
it just as clear as day. And so I love that, and my sister had said, well, it's a good thing that you had the wherewithal to get out, to get help,
Mm-hmm.
to ask for
Mm-hmm.
help. And
Yep.
so this is the thing, women out there, because the same symptoms that of my panic attack are some of the same symptoms that happen as a heart attack in women.
Yes.
So I'm
Yes.
playing with it. If I have one tomorrow, I'm gonna call them.
Yeah. One
But
of my
my therapist today told me, and Latasha, you're gonna love this. So when we talk about me slowing down, Marty, I don't know what that looks like.
right.
So I said, to her, like, everybody tells me to slow down. I don't know what to do. Does that mean I don't do the Black Women's Network? Does that mean I don't do San Fernando Valley camps? What does that mean? And she said, no, for you, those are the things that bring you joy. You keep doing those. She said,
Mm-hmm.
but when it's quiet, that
Yes.
I need to find more time to be quiet in
Mm.
my own spaces. And here I am. I'm the queen of mindfulness. I'm Mindful Minute Girl. But here's the thing, guided meditation has been my jam.
Oh, come on.
No, 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 no. But she said, just be.
Okay.
Use your breath as the thing that you pay attention to. Now, I talk about this in mindfulness, and I do that, but I'm usually doing that listening to something guided.
Yes.
She's like, just be and hear from God.
Ooh, that's good. That's
Yes, that's
good.
what even Marie Ford said today.
That's
And
good.
so have I took that in. I took that in a way that made perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, when I get men that come in and they're bottled up like this,
Mm-hmm.
they don't even know it, because that is their norm. That is
Yes.
their everyday go-to, is to be
Yes.
bottled up like that. And
Yes.
some of these are veterans
Mm-hmm.
who have secrets that they can't even tell or talk about, but they still dream about,
Yes.
you know?
Yes.
And some of my veterans are Vietnam veterans.
Mm,
So they have lived their lives in this ball of angst.
yes, for
So
years.
please, Marty, talk about the young folks that we are trying to teach this stuff to and how you can help boys.
Yes, and I think it's one, like you said, one teaching them how to recognize when their body is off, especially our young boys. We don't teach them that enough.
Hmm.
The various stages of development. Here recently, I've been really tapping into. I have found three black male yoga instructors.
What? Hear the angels sing. Where might they be?
One's out here in Riverside, one's in Orange County, and one's in Las Vegas.
Oh my goodness.
And we're
Nobody's close to us.
right, right. That's
I
okay. But that's part of the thing I want to do too, because they, I did one on I'm about to do at the end of this month for Father's Day what I call the Black Man Made Well.
Ooh, I like it.
Yes, the Black Man Made Well, and it's teaching them. And they've just taught me a few basic things because I probably about twice a month, three times a month, I get bad insomnia.
Mm,
I quit fighting it because what it is so much on my mind. And
hmm.
so I'm sure if people saw me at 3 o'clock, like, this man is crazy. I'm doing my poses, I'm doing my yoga poses, getting grounded, listening to my breath, releasing a
Yes.
lot of that tension and that
Yes.
anxiety, moving, your shoulders, all of that. And
Yes.
and I find that 30, 40 minutes of that, I'm ready to go right back to sleep.
I love it. Now that's great. Y'all hear that? Yoga poses, because a
Yeah.
lot of times that's what keeps you awake is you're fighting it. When
Yes.
you're trying so hard to go to sleep, it's like, have you
Yes.
yet? It's like,
I
no.
just get up. I do. I don't
Yeah.
care. Or by then, if I'm still not sleepy after doing that, my staff hates it because then I send them emails. They're like, "Your insomnia kicked in." I'm like, "I'm so sorry, idiot."
Right. And I look what I started to do when I'm up late because my mind is just like da, 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 da. I'll start an email to somebody and they'll be like, "Ooh, they're gonna get me if they know I'm up this late." So I wait. I have it all crafted and I push send in the morning.
You better than me because I just start hitting send.
I
Yeah,
love it. What did G say? She said something about Benadryl in a pinch for a panic attack. Thank you,
yeah.
but
I didn't
always
know
have
that. I
Benadryl.
felt that.
Yes, take a deep breath and then let that ish go. My yoga teacher teaches mantra.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. Tasha said men have to be vulnerable enough not to avoid the tingling and small feelings that show up in their body. I'm telling you, that tingling was something new
yeah,
to me. I had no idea. He said the nerve endings, I guess, are
yes.
exposed when they're doing that. That was something. Teach men the safety of vulnerability.
And
Absolutely.
that Tasha, that is it. Teaching men that there is actually strength and safety in being vulnerable. And
Yes.
now I'm not carrying around whatever that toxicity is that I'm
Yes.
trying to hide, or now I can really be authentically who I am with this emotion, and
Mhm.
have the emotional intelligence to realize. See, most of us don't have that EI,
Yes.
and having the emotional intelligence to recognize when something is off.
That's right. That is so true.
Yes.
And the thing I love with you talking about you're doing yoga is that even I, as a woman, have always felt, and a woman, former athlete, right,
Hmm. Hmm.
and the ADHD, all of it, and high
Right.
energy and always on the moves, and so I thought yoga is boring and I can't do it. I remember the first time I took a yoga class. I took a yoga class at the gym in Toledo, Ohio, and
Right.
and it was a bunch of old folks in there, and I was like, "Oh shoot, I got this, baby!" I came out of there like,
Right.
it
It,
was no joke, and
it's
I was
difficult
like, "Are you kidding me?"
because you have to focus. And I'm in there, men's bodies don't move this way. But it is, it's probably one of the most difficult things I've ever done. And then
Wow.
trying to maintain, and it reminded me, so for me it was really grounding, because now it became mind over body.
Mm,
Yes. And how I had to concentrate in order to hold that pose. And it
yes.
showed me how imbalanced I was,
Look at
not
that.
just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well.
Yes. Yes. Even when I was working with my trainer, shout out to Yolanda Martin Fitness. This diva used to get me up 6 in the morning. She'd be at my house, not late. I was late. I'd be running down the stairs with the sneakers. And Karen, but
Right.
she had me doing bar work
Mm,
on my kitchen counter bar. And
right.
so I got these sliders, these little round discs that you put on the floor,
Hmm.
and using those to
Yes.
slide like the ballet poses I used to do. And then what was always amazing, she'd have me lift up in my core and
Hmm.
my toe to my knee and passe, and just practicing balance.
Yes.
And if
Yeah.
I thought about it too hard, like, oh, I'm trying to balance, I would topple
Top
over. But
over. Yes.
I learned how to connect through that body and mind, and it really was amazing
Yes.
to see what you could
Yes.
do.
It
Oh yeah,
is.
Latasha said something I love, and that is listen to bilateral music to go to sleep.
Mm.
I know a guy that I've never laid eyes on, him and his wife, but they're out of, actually, I believe they're in Canada, but
Mm.
they are, he does bilateral beats,
Mm.
meditation, and that sort of thing. And
Hmm.
it is pretty amazing.
Hmm.
Yoga is the most difficult sport. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Hey Lou, that's my water man. So inside here is da-da-da. Oh, there's my commercial. Well connected
Okay.
water, y'all, is alkaline water. It is also
Love it.
owned and operated, and he is the bottler, the creator, and the delivery man. Gotta know
Come
it.
on.
Well connected water, along with
Yes.
well connected gear and well connected entertainment.
Love that. Love
Yes,
that.
yes. So I think that what she say is the connection that's tough in yoga. You can't
Yeah.
fake it. Right,
You can.
exactly.
You
You
can.
can't fake it, you'll topple right over.
Yes. Yes.
Mr. Well Connected is here. Hello, Charlotte Brinkley. Yes, darling. Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in. Well, Marty, yeah, and Lou, you should go back and watch this. We're talking about men's health. So I want to give another shout out, and that is to the Black Women's Network, of which I am the president, because Marty this Saturday will be uh, our speaker, or one of our speakers. We're having a panel with Marty and Dr. Okray. All right, I'm not gonna get it right, so I'm gonna have to take a quick peek. But he is. I'm going to tell y'all in a second. Let me see. He is a global health practitioner. We're going to
Wonderful.
continue this conversation about men's health and mental health as it impacts us, because it's important.
Yeah.
Dr. Orkay Godwin, and he is a global health practitioner,
Hmm.
international health and development specialist, healthcare administrator, and quality improvement officer, and he is a physician. And we're going to talk about health. It is also PTSD month, and so I'll be on to talk about PTSD, how
Wonderful.
PTSD lives in the body,
Yes.
and how, as both women and men, we can be impacted by that, and
Yes.
we should pay attention to those things, and especially now, because PTSD is not a car accident, it's not
No.
a war veteran or any of that. It is LWB. I say it again, living
Yes.
while black. We are definitely um on that scope, you
Yes.
know.
Yes.
So I'm going to find the link to this event for y'all, and I'm going to put it in the chat. Let me see. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Do-do-do. Where is that link? Stay with me. Stay with me. So, Marty, tell him something good.
Something good, huh? Yes. No, no, thank you. This has been absolutely amazing because, especially as we're talking about this, and I love all these amazing clinicians and your guests on here that's been sharing because that's a network and knowledge is so much power.
Hmm.
We all learn together. So I've learned a lot this evening. The Benadryl, yes, that is great.
That is
So,
great.
yes, it is. Rhonda, thank you so much. And I appreciate you. And it's about us being transparent. Just because we're in this field doesn't mean that we've arrived. We all have some mental health challenges at some point in time.
Yes,
And
yes,
it's like anything, ebbs and flows with it. And there are days that I have to go back to some of the basics and remind myself of even what I tell my own patients. Listen, Marty, you better breathe. Take some time. It's time to rest. Um,
yes,
we all need those
yes,
mental health days. So I cannot thank you enough for inviting me. I'm looking forward to Saturday as well. But this has been
yes,
amazing.
yes.
Thank you.
Well, Marty, I am so, so proud of you and everything that you've been
Likewise.
doing. It is such a joy to my heart when I look up and listen, y'all, tune in to Mental Health Matters with Marty, right?
Yes, and I'm going on YouTube, just Mental Health Marty, and that's how you find me on everything. My
Oh,
website, Mental Health Marty, YouTube, Mental Health Marty, and thank you for that. And if I give a shameless plug, every
absolutely.
Tuesday at 7 p.m., I have a Mental Health Marty show on YouTube, and was quite exciting. Last night we did hot topics in the Black community, our community, culture, and Christ and what that looks like.
Yes. Ooh, I like that.
Yes.
Well, who's your next guest on your show?
My next guest is Dr. Chris Williams from the North Carolina area. And we're doing a lot of focus on Black male mental health and physical health. And he's a physical therapist. And we're talking about how we can get our bodies moving and how that does our
Mm,
mental health as a great deal as well. So I'm excited about that.
I love it. And it's every Tuesday night at what time?
Every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time.
I
And
love it.
again, thank you. You have amazing audience, and I thank you guys and for just welcoming.
Absolutely. And so I am posting this now where they can see you on Saturday, Marty.
Awesome.
Let's see. All right. So take a moment, y'all, and get this. I'm trying to be tall. Take a moment and get this information. The link here is where you can register for the Black Women's Network June meeting. It is this Saturday. That's June 11th at 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And Marty will be speaking. We'll continue this conversation along with Dr. Godwin and myself. And it's going to be amazing.
Awesome.
Once again, Marty, I thank you. I love
Thank
what you're doing
you.
out there. Look,
Likewise.
I can't wait till our next collaboration. So
Yes. And I'm
definitely.
having you on my show here soon too.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And so
Yes.
let's get that crack a lacking. And
Yes.
then let's see, did something go wrong here? Wait a minute, let me see. Okay, let's do this one. Hold on. Yeah, something went wrong on that one. So that's the link to register for the meeting on Saturday, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you are in another time zone, please join us at 10 a.m. our time and whatever that looks like your time. That's 12 o'clock Central Time. That's 1 o'clock. Yep, 1 o'clock Eastern Time and Mountain Time. The rest of y'all figure it out. Do the math. So
Love it.
you can always come back to this link. The link, if you got a link for the show, come back to the link to get this information. Come back and view. If you're just now tuning in, you miss some real gems and important tidbits from Marty, and you'll want to get them. And so, with that said, I want to thank you for tuning in once again to Boss Talk. We will be back next week. at the same time and same place. That's Boss Talk Live on YouTube. That's Living Loved Healing, and Shonda Ray Brinkley on Facebook. And this has been Boss Talk. That's bold, one of a kind, sensational superstars. And that is you. Live loved and shalom, y'all. Bye now.